Alright, so I thought I'd do a Leica Rant, I guess is what I'm going to call it. Um, just start off, this is obviously a Fuji X100. It's pretty controversial among a lot of photographers too, whether Leica is better than that or not. And this is a Fed 2 Soviet era rangefinder, and it's obviously film. No screen back there. So basically I'm just going to talk about what I think of Leica and what I've thought of Leica before and where Leica is going. I'll start off saying that I was a huge Leica fan back when the M9 was released. I thought that was probably the best camera in the world, that nothing could possibly top that. And then they started coming out with the X series, and now with obviously that awful X Vario. And I don't know, the company is becoming much more of a boutique company. I'm just worrying that they'll become really proud and not care about users really anymore. Another thing I was noticing on their Facebook page, they recently posted pictures of the recent Los Angeles camera store opening, and there were a lot of people there with X Varios, which surprises me that anyone would even buy one of those. But not only that, I mean, Seal was there. It's like, I don't get where Leica decides who they endorse, whether they just need a lot of money or I don't know. So I don't know really where I'm going with this other than Leica is really a dying camera. I have no problem with their film cameras. Those were obviously photographers' cameras. The M3 when it was introduced was around $450 in the 50s, which translates to about $2,300-$2,400 now, with inflation and whatnot. So, I mean, that's still expensive, but I mean, you compare that to the Nikon cameras now and the Canon cameras, and it's really not that ridiculous. The Leica's now at $7,000 for a body. That's becoming really pretentious, and that's way overboard. No one's gonna be able to afford that who's actually doing photography as a work. Not just that either. The new M incorporates video and a lot of the modern DSLR features that a lot of Leica purists absolutely hate, and I can see that. I understand that because a simple camera is always very nice. This is obviously as simple as it possibly gets, all manual, all mechanical, and there's only like 5-6 shutter speeds and simple lens, screws off, screw mount. I have film on this right now, but screw mount, simple. And people arguing that they need a Leica now because of its simplicity is an absolutely ridiculous argument. The new M, obviously, in the direction they're going, is no longer going to be a simple camera. It is going to have the same features as a DSLR, and that's not really a valid argument anymore. I also want to talk about people that say they need a Leica for their work, and that really makes me sick too. It's not true at all. I mean, the Fuji, great camera, small, it does everything I need it to do. A lot of people argue, but it's autofocusing, it's not pure. Well, neither is the new Leica. It's got video. The only thing it still has is manual focus. So, I mean, I really like that camera, and I also have a D600. It does the job. It is all I really need. And I have the 2850 and 105, which I barely use, only for portraiture stuff. But a little about me, I'm going into photojournalism, so I'll be doing conflicts, I'll be covering everything really. I don't really want to do news photography, more of a documentary style of things. So, I mean, you watch a documentary like War Photography about James Noctaway, and you'll notice he's just using a simple Canon setup. That's really all you need. You watch something like that, and then you go look at the pictures from the new Leica store opening, where all these really champagne drinking boutique company is putting on a show. It makes them really look like a lot of sissies when, photography really is about people. And I mean, the equipment shouldn't get in the way of taking pictures of what really matters. I mean, Leica, you say, it's the smoothest build quality, great lenses. But when you're taking pictures of conflict zone or something like that, not really going to matter at all. You're not going to be drooling over the features of a Leica and how great the Leica is. You're going to be focused on the person. At least you should be. You shouldn't be admiring the frame lines in your camera and just fondling the brass of the camera. I mean, Leica was a great camera system back in the film days, but now it's a completely different story. Um, they're really going in a direction that's really gross to me. It's not really about photography anymore. It's more about them being the classic camera company that makes cameras ridiculously priced just because they can. And that's absurd. I mean, I have the Nikon D600. That's what I'm filming on right now, and that is going to do everything that I need it to do. And it shouldn't be about the equipment at all. I mean, that's obviously a very beat to death statement, but if you really think about it, you're telling stories, and if you're a writer, the best ballpoint pen isn't gonna let you tell any better stories. So I'm just gonna conclude by saying you do not need a Leica. The way they're going digitally now is really disgusting. Really, I mean, it's nothing like what Fuji does now. I mean, Fuji has great features. If you need a small camera, if you absolutely need a small camera, I recommend Fuji. I recommend an old film Leica if you really need it. This is just a Russian Soviet knockoff, but it still does the job. And Leica's, I don't know. I'll just conclude it with that. With that, I guess. And yeah, I guess that's my Leica rant.